Alright, here's a guy named Markiplier. I'm sure you heard of him. He's a famous Let's Player on commentator on YouTube. You know, a gamer that commentates and shows his webcam reaction to playing the game, in addition to showing footage of the game with the video capture card. You know, picture-in-picture of him in the corner and the game filling the rest of the screen. Here's his position on guns, and, well, I don't like it, and you'll see why.
Hey guys, I wanted to make a video that's a little out of the norm from what I usually do. This is in relation to the Stoneman Douglas shootings, and first and foremost, I have to say that I'm incredibly proud of the way the kids have been handling themselves, how they've been demonstrating all across the country in the organization of marches and talks with people in political spheres.
He's talking about the March for Our Lives movement, which is absolutely appalling that these kids are calling for gun control, which is not only useless and destructive, but it's oppressive. And there's that David Hogg guy. Oh boy, yeah.
And usually I stay out of anything that has to do with politics or religion or anything of the above. But in this particular case, I felt I needed to say something because some of my fans have been affected by this. And some of my fans are out there demonstrating about this. And I wanted to say something because I don't feel it's right that kids have to be the ones on the front lines of this fight.
What are you talking about? There are tons of adults on board with March for Our Lives. Obama, Hillary, Nancy Pelosi, Senator Dianne Feinstein. They're on board with that. What are you talking about?
And I wanted to throw in my support and give my thoughts on the matter for whatever that may be worth. But to give you a background, I have an extensive background and experience with guns. My father was a 24-year Army man. He was a member of the NRA. He taught me about guns from a very early age, and he taught me to respect them and how to properly handle guns. I have gone to the shooting range many times. I've shot all kinds of guns. My dad even built muzzleloader rifles as a hobby. So when I say these things, just know that it's not coming from a place of ignorance.
You support an organization that doesn't want to arm teachers, even though that keeps students safer, wants universal background checks, even though they already have that, wants to ban high-capacity magazines, even though you can get those on the black market, and also wants to ban assault weapons, you know, the semi-automatic weapons, even though that won't do shit either. That's ignorance.
And first and foremost, I want to say that I don't think people should be able to access assault rifles.
They're not assault rifles. How many times do we have to say this? Assault rifles were banned on May 19th, 1986 with the Hughes Amendment. Well, assault rifles made on and after that date. In fact, all fully automatic weapons, all fully automatic guns made on and after that date were banned for civilian ownership and use. For the most part, range owners, dealers, and manufacturers can have those if they have the proper licenses, but not regular civilians. So, yeah, they're already banned, and plus, rifles such as the AR-15 and Wasser 10 aren't assault rifles. They're modern sporting rifles. They're modern sporting variants of the assault rifles. They're semi-automatic only. They look like the assault rifles, but they aren't the assault rifles. So stop calling them assault rifles, because they're not.
There's no beating around the bush. There's no kidding about it. There's no exaggerations. Assault rifles exist solely to kill people. And you could say the same thing about all guns, but assault rifles especially.
Once again, not assault rifles. You can own fully automatic guns made and registered before 1986. If fully automatic guns in the U.S. are made before 1986, but not registered before 1986, you can't own those. So yeah, the Hughes Amendment sucks ass for the U.S. They're not assault rifles, okay? And the whole assault rifles are only made to kill argument is bullshit. You can use assault rifles just as you'd use any other gun for peaceful purposes. A fun time at the range, sport shooting, enthusiast shooting, collecting, self-defense. So what if it fires when you hold down the trigger? I mean, come on. Oh, it's a big scary gun. Big scary black gun, fires real fast, so tactical. I've heard this before. It's really annoying.
They don't have any purpose in hunting.
Oh my god. If I had 1/1000th of a penny for every time I heard the "it's not for hunting" argument, I could afford all the weaponry on the planet. I mean, seriously, it's not about hunting. The Second Amendment isn't about hunting. It's about standing up to a tyrannical government with the best weapon there is, which is the firearm. They have firearms, we have to have firearms. And even if they didn't have firearms, we still need firearms. It's not about, oh, I want to shoot a deer. No, it's about, I need to shoot a tyrant or a criminal. The hunting argument is getting really old. It's stupid. It's what do these gun control folk think it's all about hunting? I don't get it. Not everyone who has a gun even hunts. They
have a purpose in self-defense only to the point where they can kill multiple people with a lot of bullets in a very large magazine.
Yeah, it's a gun. It's gonna kill people when used by a person. When it's pointed at other people, it's not gonna look pretty. But isn't that the point? To kill someone if you have to? Of course it's not gonna look pretty. It's killing. But hey, it serves its purpose. And isn't it good when a weapon can kill a bunch of attackers? A bunch of assholes that are after you? And what you have available can kill them? Isn't that a good thing? And high capacity magazines, who cares? Bunch of bullets. Don't have to reload as often. And store a lot. I mean, what's bad about that? They're always going on about the high capacity magazines. Who cares?
And I know I'm going out on a limb and just saying this outright, but I'm 100% in the field that we need to ban assault rifles.
I already explained that they're not assault rifles. The Hughes Amendment bans fully automatic firearms made on and past May 19, 1986 for normal civilian ownership and possession. The government, of course, isn't exempt from this. And as for what regular civilians can do with those post-1986 fully automatic firearms, well, you can rent them out of range, and you can form what's called a machine gun trust, but that's not straight up ownership. Like with the normal guns, that's more like borrowing the gun or something, or keeping it in someone else's hand. It's not straight up ownership. It's really tedious to have one of those set up, by the way. And what else do I gotta say about this? If you think assault rifles should be banned, you should at least be somewhat satisfied with the Hughes Amendment, since, you know, not only are you not allowed to own these weapons made past the date I keep mentioning, you're not allowed to import them from another country either. You're also not allowed to convert semi-automatics to fully automatics, which is possible in some cases with some guns. So you should be pretty damn happy with this Hughes Amendment. Maybe not fully happy since you want to ban all these guns, but at least somewhat happy because that asshole William J. Hughes did a big dent for gun rights.
And I know that people will say that gun control laws are not the thing that can change this, or at least they'll say that it's not the only thing that can change this. But in my mind, why not do everything in our power to try to protect our kids?
You can't have these knee-jerk reactions to try and solve problems. It doesn't work. If it doesn't work, don't do it. Gun control doesn't work, so don't do it. It leads to an increase in crime, black marketing of guns, crushing of Second Amendment rights, empowerment of tyrannical government. It doesn't work. So it's not doing everything in your power to protect kids. It's not. Why not have more people more armed more often than just, oh my god, scary guns, ban them? I mean, when people are armed, they can fight against the bad people who are armed. They can do that. A good guy with a gun stops a bad guy with a gun isn't a myth. It's true. There are over 300,000 to 2 million defensive uses of a gun in the US a year. And here people like you are acting like these guns are just constantly used to kill people and nothing else. It's really frustrating.
Or our people, or our fellow countrymen, or our neighbors. And in the avenue of trying to attack this from both sides, why don't we stop stigmatizing mental health? Why don't we stop treating it like some sort of problem that people just need to bear alone? That should be the first and foremost of everything, not just in these, but in general, because there's so many people out there suffering silently with mental illnesses that need help and are so afraid to go out and get it because of the way we treat it in this country.
Okay, this is something I agree with you on. Mental health is stigmatized in this country. It shouldn't be. People should be able to get help, and they should be able to get respect, love, and dignity. I'll agree with you on that, but I do not agree with the gun control. It doesn't work. It's dangerous, it's destructive, and it's oppressive. We can't do that. Mental health, sure, make the outlook on people with mental illness better, but don't take away the guns. I can't stress this enough.
And also, why do we require more licensing and registration for cars than we do for guns? I know that people abide very closely by the Second Amendment, and me as a proud American, I'm very proud of our Constitution, but at the same time, there has to be some measure of control.
He brings up the car argument, which I don't find valid either. Okay, one, I don't really think cars should be registered either. You have all this bureaucracy just to fucking drive a car. You know, you gotta deal with all that insurance, paperwork, premium, cost bullshit. All this licensing it with the state, DPS, DMV bullshit. All that time spent in a dealership just to talk over the legal stuff before buying and getting in the damn car and leaving the lot. I don't think you should have to go for registration for that either. At least not this much. And the thing is, even with that aside, Guns are a recognized constitutional right. Cars aren't. This isn't a good argument.
I know that people want to be able to bear arms, and I respect that. I come from a family that was all about that, but that doesn't mean that we can't have some measure of control over these extremely dangerous tools.
You can't be logically consistent and say you support the Second Amendment, then say there needs to be some sort of control over these weapons. Shall not be infringed means no gun control, no weapon control, period. You don't ban the guns. You don't license the guns. You don't confiscate the guns. You don't make it so people have to get a license to buy, sell, use, or have the guns. And you don't register the guns. You don't touch the guns. Alright? To not be infringed means don't touch the fucking guns. It's not subject to interpretation. That's what it meant. Is don't touch the fucking guns. There shouldn't be any more discussion on this title topic of guns, firearms, ban 'em. It's been going on for so long. It's starting to make me dreary and fatigued of talking about it. But I guess since the gun control side is going to go on forever, I guess the pro-gun side needs to go on forever.
In the end, people will say that I'm spouting ignorance, or that I don't know what I'm talking about, or that I'm saying things that are wrong, and that is fine.
But it's not fine. It's not fine that you got things wrong, you suggested things that don't work, you taking things out of context. That's not fine. You're not entitled to be taken. You're not entitled to be taken seriously. You gotta know your facts. You gotta earn trust. You gotta suggest things that actually work. You can't just be like, whatever, or I don't care, or that's fine, to the people that prove you wrong while disagreeing with you. They disagree with you and prove you wrong, and that matters. You can't just say, just trust me, You gotta be right. If you're gonna fight for a just cause, you gotta know your shit. It's not right to just care. You're like, I care about the children. Do you really? Do you know your facts? Are you informed? Are you suggesting a solution that'll actually work? You gotta meet this criteria to make it matter, to have your voice heard.
But right now, the only thing that I can think of is, why shouldn't we be doing absolutely everything in our power to help? Now is not the time for talk. Now is not the time for empty promises. Now is the time to do something for the people that are suffering most from this.
People already have suggested solutions. Get rid of waiting periods so people who need a gun can get a gun. If they have like a violent ex-partner that wants to kill them, you pay for the gun now, you should get the gun now. Or so, getting rid of gun-free zones, which criminals couldn't care less about. Where, everyone inside that isn't armed is a sitting duck. And the criminal is like a fox, a violent fox with a firearm to kill everyone. And, look at the Luby shooting in, Killeen, Texas. One person could have been armed, but due to the laws that told her, don't bring the gun inside, she didn't, and a whole bunch of people got killed, including her parents. And also, more solutions is getting rid of gun control, unbanning weapons. Bullet buttons make it harder for the victim to defend themselves with their guns. And criminals aren't going to have those damn things installed. So why make law-abiding citizens install them? Also, get rid of the whole... You need a license to open or conceal carry. Just let people carry the damn guns. If a private establishment doesn't want the guns so bad, okay, fine, you can't carry in there. But otherwise, let people carry their damn guns. I mean, a gun's only good for protecting yourself is if you actually have it at the ready. The only gun that works is the one you use, and the only gun you use is the one you have available. So, get rid of all these gun laws that empower criminals and disarm victims, and you'll see some results. So why are they so anti-armed teachers? That guy at the Parkland campus, the cop, chickened out, as well as some other cops. So why not arm the teachers in case the cops chicken out? I don't get it. Subject's gone along for enough, and we pro-gun people have suggested solutions long enough. Just do them. Unless you don't want a free, safe, prosperous society, and rather just run around in circles, getting killed and victimized by the criminals and the elite that make them so powerful in the first place.
And I want to end this by saying that these kids that are out demonstrating, they are an inspiration. An absolute inspiration, not just to me, but to everybody watching across the country. And if you're watching this and you are out there demonstrating, or you're organizing marches, or you're talking to the people who are supposedly in power of these decisions, keep it up. Because the world is listening. The country is listening. People will try to ignore you, and people will try to dismiss your opinion, but you are the future of this country. And you are the future of the world, and your actions dictate what our future will be. So don't give up the fight. Stay strong. And thanks for watching. Bye.
Look, I get the desire to save people. I want to save people too. But ignorant and foolish heads and rash decisions isn't gonna save one person. You need to be smart about this. It's nice to have a cause, but it has to be a good cause. You can't just go, I'm in a parade, I got a picket sign, I want change, I want them to write a law. If it's a bad cause, it's better to not join it than to join it and be part of something bad rather than be good. It's better to not join any causes than to join a bad one. I mean, gun control doesn't work, so why support it? I guess that's all I can say. So if you like this video, subscribe, hit the bell, watch my other stuff too. Yeah, I mean, but gun control isn't gonna work. That's the truth.